Good morning, Mrs. Collins. Welcome to our studio. As a distinguished member of Toastmasters International, could you tell us a bit about the background of the organization?
I am delighted to have that opportunity. Toastmasters is an international organization designed to develop effective speaking and listening skills. It was founded in 1924 by Ralph Smedley and is headquartered in California.
What is the purpose of Toastmasters?
Toastmasters has a twofold purpose: the personal growth of the individual and strong, effective communication skills.
Then who is Toastmasters open to? And what kind of members do you have now?
Well, many people think Toastmasters is open only to those individuals who wish to be professional speakers, but that is definitely not true. Toastmasters is open to the public at large. Any individual who wishes to improve his public speaking is welcome, and also those who just want to increase their overall self-confidence are encouraged to attend.
Another question is, how can Toastmasters help you in job situations?
By becoming involved in Toastmasters, you will learn different methods of communicating what you really want to say. And equally important, you will learn what your audience expects from you, so you can deliver that message to them in a logical fashion. Some people are comfortable around friends, but when they appear before a group they don't know, they get tense. Our organization helps our members to get calm and organize thoughts and deliver them in an effective way.
Is Toastmasters concerned with total communication, not just for speaking, but other communication skills?
Most often, people assume that when you are listening, you are also paying attention. This is not always true. Many times, people are waiting for their turn to speak and are not really listening at all. Toastmasters can develop a person overall in terms of organizing their thoughts, getting input from others, and then receiving effective feedback.
Then, how does Toastmasters train people?
Toastmasters has an approach of learning by doing. The Toastmasters International Organization provides a manual we refer to as the Basic Manual, because it gives a guideline for the development of speeches. These speeches cater to different purposes. For example, one objective might be to develop vocal variety. Another might be to organize your thoughts or develop your use of humor in speeches.
Can you also learn other skills, such as parliamentary procedures or being master of ceremonies?
Yes. Different assignments within Toastmasters involve not only preparation of speeches and then presenting these before an audience, but also the opportunity of serving as Toastmaster of the meeting. This assignment helps members practice being an MC for a meeting, that is, a master of ceremonies. Other assignments include serving as an evaluator for another speaker, or serving as grammarian, who will monitor use of filler words or phrases, such as and, or you know. Both of these assignments will allow the member to increase or enhance their listening skills.
I know that there is an 8-week program for young people and also an 8-week speechcraft course offered for adults. What do these involve?
They are basically an introduction to Toastmasters in general, a sample, providing the opportunity for an individual to determine whether or not they wish to get involved in Toastmasters by joining a club.
What can an individual gain from being in Toastmasters?
I would say self-confidence and some tricks of the trade in the development of speeches. But that is only the beginning. As an individual continues to give speeches and improve, he progresses from the point of being fearful to stand before a group of peers to the point where he can address any group of people with a degree of self-confidence. Leadership skills are also developed by learning to organize and conduct meetings.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Collins, for talking to us in the studio.
You're most welcome.
Writing experimental reports. Good morning, everyone. Today, we'll discuss some preliminaries concerning how to write experimental reports. When you first signed up for a course in university, like a psychology course, chances are that you didn't really expect what was coming in your study. Particularly, the course emphasis on methodology and statistics. For a few of you, this may have come as a pleasant surprise, provided that you had already known something about the course. For most, however, I dare say, it will undoubtedly have been a shock to the system. No doubt in other parts of your course study, you will read books and journals examining, critically, models and theories, assumptions and hypotheses put forward by scholars and specialists. My task today is to help you understand some of the important features of experimental reports, because you will have to write up some kind of report of this nature if your course gives prominence to practical work, especially experimenting. Then, what is an experimental report? All a report is, really, is the place in which you tell the story of your study, like what you did, why you did it, what you found out in the process, and so on. In doing this, you are more like an ancient storyteller, whose stories were structured in accordance with widely recognized and long-established conventions, than a modern novelist who is free to dictate form as well as content. Moreover, like the storyteller of old, although you will invariably be telling your story to someone who knows quite a bit about it already, you are expected to present it as if it had never been heard before. This means that you will need to spell out the details and assume little knowledge of the area on the part of your audience. Then perhaps you may ask, what is the nature of the conventions governing the report? A clue, I think, can be found in its basic structure. A highly structured and disciplined report is written in sections, and these sections, by and large, follow an established sequence. What this means is that, in the telling, your story is to be cut up into chunks. Different parts of the story are to appear in different places in the report. What you did and why you did it appear in the section called Introduction. How you did it is in the Method section, and what you found out is in the Results section. And finally, what you think it shows appears in the Discussion part. As you can see, the report, therefore, is a formal document composed of a series of sections in which specific information is expected to appear. We will discuss the precise conventions governing each section as we go along. For example, what are the subsections in the method? But today, I will introduce to you certain general rules straight away. The first of these concerns the person to whom you should address your report, whom I shall call your reader. A very common mistake, especially early on, is to assume that your reader is the person who will be marking the report. In reality, however, the marker will be assessing your report on behalf of someone else, an idealized, hypothetical person who is intelligent but unknowledgeable about your study and the area in which it took place. Your marker will, therefore, be checking to see that you have written your report with this sort of reader in mind. So you need to make sure that you have 1. Introduced the reader to the area relevant to your study. 2. Provided the reader with the background necessary to understand what you did and why you did it. 3. Spelt out and developed your arguments clearly. 4. Defined technical terms. And 5. Provided precise details of the way in which you went about collecting and analyzing the data that you obtained. In short, You should write for someone who knows little about your area of study, taking little for granted about your reader's knowledge of your area of study. So, when in doubt, spell it out. This is my advice to you. If you find this difficult to do, then a useful approach is to write the report as if it will be read by someone you know who is intelligent but unknowledgeable about your subject. A friend of yours, say. Write it as if this person were going to have to read and understand it. Indeed, it is a good idea, if you can, to get just such a person to read your report before handing it in. The demands and expectations placed upon you will, of course, vary with your experience of report writing. Early on in your study, as an author of experimental reports, less will be expected of you than later. At this early stage, you will be expected mainly to show that you understand what you did in your report and its implications, together with evidence that you have, at least, a basic grasp of the demands of the report's format. Later on, however, you will be expected to pay more attention to the research significance of what you did. The why you did it part will become more important because in being responsible for the choice of topic and design, you will be expected to be able to justify this choice. So you must be able to tell us why it is that, given the options available to you, you decided to conduct your particular study. You will need, therefore, to develop the habit of thinking about how the ideas that you are entertaining for your experiment or study will look in the report, paying particular attention to how they will fit into the part of introduction. Specific dangers that you must watch out for here are, first, a lack of adequate material to put in this section, and second, the undertaking of a project that lacks any research justification, because it is based on assumptions that are contradicted by existing findings in the area. Thinking clearly in advance will help you to avoid making these mistakes. Okay. Today, we've had a brief look at the format of an experimental report, what each section is about, and some of the basic issues like reader awareness, so on and so forth. Next time, we will discuss how to write up the introduction section.